And today we're going to discuss the magic of self-suggestions. This is one thing that I want you guys to do. If you guys are watching it at home, if you guys are watching it here, or if you guys are watching us here, I would be taking mental notes and taking notes. Like what I learned last week from our mastermind, and this is the reason why I think it's crucial that we continue to mastermind without stopping, is because again, I've been trying to auto-suggest. Last week we learned about auto-suggestions, how to create that specific environment, how to fix things and stuff like that. And I know today we're going to talk about self-suggestion a little bit more. So Adam has volunteered to read, and that's good. We're going to do 10 minutes of some crazy reading, and believe it or not, we're pretty much almost done with the book. Just kidding. All right, here we go. From where? From right here, self-suggestion.
The magic of self-suggestion. The proof is simple and easily demonstrated. It is wrapped up in the principle of auto-suggestion. Find out what it is and what it is capable of achieving. It is a well-known fact that one comes finally to believe whatever one repeats to oneself, whether the statement be true or false. If a man repeats a lie over and over, he will even actually accept a lie as truth. Moreover, he will believe it to be the truth. Every man is what he is because of the dominating thoughts which he permits to occupy his mind, thoughts which a man deliberately places in his own mind and encourages with sympathy, and with which he mixes any one or more of the emotions, constitute the motivating forces which have direct control to his every movement, act, and deed. Comes now in a very significant statement of truth. Thoughts which are mixed with any of the feelings of emotional constitute a magnetic force which attracts other similar or related thoughts. A thought thus magnetized with emotion may be compared to a seed which, when planted in fertile soil, germinates, grows, and multiplies itself over and over again until that which was originally one small seed becomes countless millions of seeds of the same brand. The human mind is consistently attracting vibrations which harmonize with that which dominates the mind. Any thought, idea, plan, or purpose which one holds in one's mind attracts the host of its relatives, adds these relatives to its own force, and grows until it becomes the dominating, motivating master of the individual in whose mind it has been housed. Now, let us go back to the starting point and become informed as to how the original seed of an idea, plan, or purpose may be planted in the mind. The information is easily conveyed. Any idea, plan, or purpose may be placed in the mind through repetition of thought. This is why we are asked to write out a statement of your major purpose or definite chief aim, commit it to memory, and repeat it in audible words day after day until these vibrations of sound have reached your subconscious mind. Resolve to throw off the influences of any unfortunate environment and to build your own life to order, taking inventory of mental assets and liabilities. You may discover that your greatest weakness is lack of self-confidence. The handicap can be surmounted and timidity translated into courage through the aid of principle of auto-suggestion. The application of this principle may be made through a simple arrangement of positive thought impulses stated in writing, memorized, and repeated until they become a part of the working equipment of conscious faculty in your mind. You want to read the next segment?
Yes.
Self-confidence formula. First, I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment. And I here and now promise to render such action. I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture. Third, I know through the principle of auto-suggestion, any desire that I persistently hold on in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of obtaining the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence. Fourth, I have written down a description of my definite chief aim in mind. I will never stop trying until I shall develop sufficient self-confidence for attainment. Fifth, I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction that does not benefit all whom it affects. I will succeed in attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity, because I know that a negative attitude toward others can never bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me, because I will believe in them. And in myself, I will sign my name to this formula, committed to the memory, and repeat it aloud once a day, with a full faith that it will gradually influence my and actions so that I will become a self-reliant and successful person. Back of this formula is a law of nature, which no man has yet been able to explain, the name by which one calls this law of little importance. The important fact about it is it works for the glory of success of mankind. If it is used constructively, on the other hand, if used destructively, it will destroy just as readily. In this statement may be found a very significant truth, namely that those who go down in defeat and end their lives in poverty, misery, and distress do so because of negative application of the principle of autosuggestion. The cause may be found in the fact that all impulses of that have a tendency to clothe themselves in their physical equivalent. Disaster of negative thinking. The conscious mind makes no distinction between constructive and destructive impulses. It works with the material we feed it. Through our thought, the subconscious mind will sense reality. Thought driven by fear just as readily as it will translate into reality a thought driven by courage or faith. Just as electricity will turn the wheels of industry and render useful service if used constructively, or snuff out life if wrongly used, so will lead you to peace and prosperity, or down into the valley of misery, failure, and death. According to your degree of understanding and application of it,
what's up, bro?
Believe in your ability with and use the forces of indefinite intelligence, the law of autosuggestion will take the spirit of one brief and use it as a pattern by which your subconscious mind will translate it into its physical equivalent. Like the mind, which carries one ship east, another west, the law of autosuggestion will pull you down, according to the way you set your sails of thought. The law of autosuggestion rise to altitudes of achievement and stagger the imagination is well described in the following verse. If you think you are beaten, you don't. If you think you are not, you don't. If you like to win, if you can, you can. It is almost certain you won't. If you think you'll lose, you lost. Out in the world, we find success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think you're outclassed, you are. You think you've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself, therefore you can never win a prize. Life's a battle, don't always go to the stronger or faster man. But soon or late, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. Observe the words which have been emphasized, and you will catch the deep meaning which the poet had in mind. What genius lies asleep in your brain?
All right, so if you guys are not taking notes, grab your cell phones, and I want you guys to take notes, or you guys can write it in wherever you want. Just write it down. Trust me, because this is something you guys are writing your book of your career right now. Your career is about to take a turn for the better just because you guys are going to make a conscious decision that you guys are going to focus on numbers. You guys need to make sure that you guys are focusing on what you guys are thinking. So I wrote something down, thoughts. What are your thoughts? Yesterday, I went to sleep at 10:36 because I've been working on falling asleep earlier. And as I put my head to my pillow, my thoughts started to wander. I don't know, am I the only one that has that experience? But my thoughts went crazy. My thoughts went from negative. My thoughts went from a little positivity, and my thoughts went to what about this? All of a sudden, the lineup of bills start showing up on my mind. Now I'm thinking the 18th. Now I have 12 days till the end of the month. Now I got to make money. Am I the only one that struggles with that? Okay, so ask yourself that question. Write that down. What are my thoughts? Because a lot of you guys are creating reality before the reality even becomes a reality. You guys are already thinking negative. And trust me, I went through it because I want you guys to know that I went into defense mode. You guys understand the difference between defense and offense, right? Defense, you're protecting all the time. You're like, oh, let me protect what I have. Let me protect this. Let me not be out there. Let me protect myself. COVID-19 happened. I started to think about how do I put up my defense, and all of a sudden my thoughts were everything about defense, nothing about moving forward or progress. So understand your thoughts. What did I do? I started to think about offense. I'm like, I need to attack right now. This is not the moment for me to bottle myself in, okay? So think about your thoughts and ask yourself that question all the time. What are my thoughts? And control your thoughts. So yesterday I put my head to sleep, and all of a sudden negative thoughts started to come into my head. I had to really get into my own mind and focus and say, think about positive stuff. So I started to imagine this. I started to think about my mastermind in the morning. I started to think about the book, how great the Think and Grow Rich book has been to us. I started to think about the potential deals that are going to be closing this week, the customers that I'm going to see. And all those things, I started to create positivity. I didn't think, oh crap, I'm going to have buyers that are not going to be pre-qualified. Oh crap, I'm going to have sellers that I didn't properly qualify. That's why I'm where I'm at. Does that make any sense to you guys? You are creating this reality at some point in time by controlling your own thoughts. That's what the book is saying. The second thing is, what am I attracting? What am I attracting based on what I'm saying? You guys need to put yourself in a position. If you guys have the license that you guys have, why are you not selling more homes? What's holding you back from selling your homes? And I strongly believe that you're attracting it. I give you two examples. Elizabeth said, I will open 2 escrows in 1 week. And she pushed. I believe she's going to open 2 escrows in a week. Hiram made a conscious decision that he was going to go and show properties to a client and submit offers. Tell me why he was submitting offers. But he created and attracted what he wanted based on his thoughts, because he could have said, hey, nobody's watching, nobody's looking at property, nobody's doing any of this stuff, nobody wants to buy right now, COVID-19. But again, remember, what are we attracting? I would even say just forget about COVID-19. I know it's here and it's for real, but what I'm saying is you guys are going to attract whatever you guys want. So this is the third thing I want you guys to write. Are you guys lacking confidence? If you guys are lacking any type of confidence, you guys need to make sure that you guys are showing up to the daily mastermind. I lack confidence all the time. I was put in a very tough position this weekend by customers, and I told myself, I'm either going to go into that house and gain confidence from it, or I'm going to get out of that house and I'm going to be like, here it is. You know how much money was on the line this weekend? $30,000. How many of you guys have $30,000 in your bank account right now?
I need 30,000.
Okay, so I need you guys to learn this. You know what I mean? Because it's all fun and games until you're broke. Does that make any sense to you guys? And I want you guys to have that money. So are you lacking confidence? How hard is it for you guys to write, I'm going to open up an escrow this week? How hard is that to write it 20 times and create that reality? And wake up every morning and be like, I'm going to open up an escrow. I'm going to open up an escrow. Guys, you guys have such an easy life. You guys don't have to check in nowhere at 9 a.m. and be there for 8 hours. You guys have the ability to show up whenever you want to. And I believe sometimes that's what ruins our positivity to really making money. Does that make any sense? Because you guys are like, I can leave whenever I want to, I can come in whenever I want to. So I want you guys to really focus on what's making you confident. $30,000 in your bank account, guys, will give you some confidence. Guaranteed. Even the way you walk, the way you speak, the way you handle things with other people. Because now you're going around talking to these customers that if they cancel on you, okay, hey, I still got $30,000 in my bank account. versus the, oh man, if they cancel, I'm about to go broke and file bankruptcy on my 2-3 little credit cards that I have in my small car payment. Does that make sense to you guys? So another thing that I want you guys to do is I want you guys to state things in writing. Start to write these things down. And if you guys don't think I'm fanatical about writing things down, my little book is not here, but I write down every single thing. You know why I do it? Because I'm writing my own life book. I want to know where Jesse was at 5 years ago. I want to know what I was doing, and I want to see the improvement. I'm recommending that you guys write these things down daily, because how many of you guys can guarantee that you guys called over 120 prospects last week?
Not guaranteed, but I called a bunch of them.
Okay, so not guaranteed. How hard would it be for you to start tracking those numbers so that you could make sense of what's really happening? And ask yourself, if I didn't call 120 contacts, what's 120 contacts divided by 5? Do the math real quick. It's not, we're all in the financial world here. How much is it? 725. No, it's not. 120 divided by 5 days.
Oh,
yeah.
24.
That's 24 calls every single day. How difficult is 24 phone calls? Does that make any sense to you guys?
We're not giving ourselves even a shot.
Yeah, you're not giving yourself a shot. And all it takes is for you 24 calls. Come on, David, you're a beast at calling. I know you're calling all the time. How long does it take you to make 24 calls?
With the 3-line dialer, I do like in 30 minutes, I do 100 calls.
In 30 minutes, he could do over 100 calls. How hard is it to focus on that? But we cut ourselves short, again, because we don't want to stick to the basics. What are your thoughts? You know why you're not making those phone calls? Because you lack confidence. You know why you lack confidence? Because you're not controlling your thoughts. You know why you're not controlling your thoughts? Because you're not practicing writing down what's really, really affecting you. Does that make any sense to you guys? I want you guys to really, really make a conscious decision that today, moving forward, you guys are going to change the dynamic of your life, and you're going to start to pay attention to the details. Some of you guys don't need $30,000 in your bank account. Some of you guys need 5 and you'll be good. Some of you guys need 10. I mean, I know the more the merrier, I get that. But what I'm saying is that you're never going to have a true understanding unless you're calculating and really focusing on your numbers. So we have the formula. The formula is this. Write this down. Continuous action. I am so happy that a lot of you guys are showing up, even though it's raining. Because you know what all of your competitors do when it's raining? They stay at home and they relax. Hey, it's raining. I'm not going to sell anything during a raining day. And we know consciously that to make money, the phone makes you money. The streets don't make you money. Obviously, we want to show property and do all that stuff, but the phone is the one that constantly makes you money. What were you going to say? I think this is mastermind, so you can say whatever you want.
I was going to say door knocking also makes you money too, but obviously for obvious reasons we can't do that. So.
Yeah, so door knocking makes you guys big money. And you guys know our foundation is door knocking. A lot of you guys have had a lot of success with door knocking, myself included, but I want you guys to understand that the formula is continuous action and then transform your written statements into a reality. I want to be a great husband. Why not write that down 100 times? Am I a good husband right now? Maybe I'm not. But do I want to become one? Yes, I do want to become one. I'm the best broker. Am I the best broker? Probably not. But I know that I'm going to become the best broker because I'm speaking reality and writing my stuff down. Look, I'd rather write stuff down and be a good person and fall short of my goal than to be a really shitty person, not even have goals. People tell me all the time, oh, all this stuff doesn't work. Hey, look at my track record. Look at your track record. Compare. If you're happier than I am, and your success is bigger, stick to what works for you. Matter of fact, where do I sign up? You take control. I'm down to listen to whatever you have to say for me to be successful. Does that make any sense to you guys? The other thing is that the book mentioned right now, very importantly, 10-minute daily habits. How hard is it to, if David said in 30 minutes he could make 100 calls, 24 calls a day could be made in 10 minutes. And if you guys start tracking your results, you'll realize that last week you didn't do even 24 calls. So now you have a higher possibility of succeeding. Guys, the market has not slowed down. People's mind has slowed down. If you guys are working in our environment, you guys see these deals developing all the time. These deals are out there and people are looking for them. I'm giving you guys suggestions. If you guys find yourself without customers, go out and preview properties. I know you have to send the form and the COVID-19 form, but you guys are all suited and booted. I guarantee you somebody's going to walk up to you and be like, oh man, you look so sharp. Are you the guy representing the property? No, I'm not, but I could show you the property and I could put you into this contract. Because more than likely that individual does not have a finely tuned sales professional that's doing all of these things to get where they need to be at. And they're not even putting themselves in positions where they're going to have a chance to win. Does that make sense to you guys? So I want you guys to focus on that 10-minute of daily habits. I'm highly recommending that you guys go back to breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast goals, lunch goals, and dinner goals. Not food-wise. How many of you guys want a new car? Write down that car 1,000,000 times until you get the car. Anything that you want, write it down. It becomes a reality. And guess what? Even if it doesn't become a reality, at least you were a very, very structured person. So here's what I'm going to have you guys do. In your thinking, if it starts to navigate, develop an accountability partner. You have the best accountability partner here. Hey, Jesse, I'm struggling with this. I've already struggled with it for 10 years, 12 years now. I've already been going through this whole mindset of waking up every single morning, realizing that I don't have a for sure paycheck that's going to come into my pocket. Jesse, what did you do to beat those thoughts? I wrote it down every single day that I'm going to be in escrow every single time. My mindset is the following. It's been like this for the last 10 years. It's been, I'm always in escrow. Why am I always in escrow? Because it always gives me a consistent paycheck. Versus the, I'm in escrow, now I'm not in escrow. I'm in escrow, and I see it. I would say 99.9% of the people that are in this industry fall out of escrow for such a long period of time that that's why they fell. How many of you guys want to be in escrow? I want to give me any type of escrow. Just put me in escrow. Does that make sense? But what do I have to write down? Come on, you guys are listening to what I'm saying. What do you have to write down if you want to be in escrow?
I need an escrow right now.
I need an escrow right now.
Yeah.
And I would write that down religiously. There's a book that I have over there where and at the beginning, my wife's like, why are you writing standards? And it's like, I'm not writing standards. I'm writing affirmations. Like, I'm writing the thing that I want to develop. And all of a sudden, my wife is like, oh, man, he's not messing around no more. This stuff is all developing. And I'm like, what do you want? I want to have this. I go back to my little notebook. I write it down 1,000,000 times, and all of a sudden, it becomes a reality. Because it gives me a game plan to what I got to do. And then you get into the discovery mode. What do I got to do to call 25 people? Well, first, I got to start off by getting 25 numbers. And you start setting up a game plan for yourself. And I wouldn't want to go too deep into you guys doing that, but I want to make sure that you guys have a clear understanding that these things are habits that we can either create or we can mess it all up. We can mess it all up completely. Like right now, something that I'm starting to see with the COVID-19, people have already been so frustrated with this that people are getting straight into drinking. And I'm like, I see everything on my story. I'm like drinking. And I'm over here in the background. Hell yeah, keep drinking because I'm going to win. While you guys are drunk, I'm going to make all the money in the world. And then once you guys realize that you guys have to sober up from your problems, then I'm going to drink. And then when I'm going to be drinking so good that you guys are going to be catching up. So you guys have to have this killer instinct to what we got to be doing. Yes, Adam.
Sorry, I didn't think you were picking me so fast.
No, it's okay. I'm just trying to mastermind with you.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Anyways, I just wanted to touch on your point about focusing really quick.
Yeah.
About like having your mind in the right place. I don't know if you have a minute or so I can just share something.
Yeah, you want to talk about it so there's people watching?
Right there. Yesterday I went horseback riding in the morning early. Right. And in this working pen where I was riding my horse, I was trying to make him do certain things. But for one reason or another, he just wasn't with me. His mind was completely somewhere else, distracted, just giving me a hard time and not doing what I wanted to ask him. I just had a hard time like getting him to focus, and I didn't. But he's a really good horse, and when he is focused, he's really good. And on my way back home, I was riding. I was super disappointed in him, and blah blah blah. And I started to think, I was like, it goes back to what you're saying, right? When you're focused and when your mind is in the right place, it's your work shows for it, because obviously we all have potential to be something good. Absolutely. So when you're focused, but your mind is not there, your mind is like on drinking or partying or whatever the extracurricular activities that you do, and it stops you from being focused at your job or with your family. You're also not going to be there when it's time to perform, and unfortunately that doesn't give you the results.
And I completely agree with you. Something that happened to me personally, and this is based on your horse story. There's something that you did consciously to attract that. Yes. Something in your energy was there. Yesterday, as I'm working and trying to finely tune my eating habits, I learned about myself that Sunday, I go hard on carbohydrates. I go hard on anything. Like Sunday is like, I've used what the health and fitness industry has used as a cheat day to my full advantage. You eat, you overeat, you're there and you're just stuffing your face, and it's a whole Sunday thing from start to finish. I learned yesterday that that was a make or break for me. In my creation of habits, I almost got mentally defeated to thinking, oh, it's not a big deal. I'm just gonna eat whatever I want to. It's just Sunday, it's a cheat day anyway. Does that make any sense to you guys? You cheat yourself out of things because you are playing with your mind, because you're not writing this down. So this is the same thing. This is our next topic right now, because I know we've been practicing buyer script. If you don't have your buyer script down and ready right now, there's a problem, because the buyer script is the easiest. If you don't have your seller prequal script down and ready, there's a problem, because you should know it. But today I want to talk about handling objections. Guys, you guys are so young. You guys look so sharp. These people want to tear you apart because they think you can't hang on your own. They think you can't hold your own. Specifically, when people are transferring a massive amount of money, like in real estate, what's the smallest transaction we'll do? Even if I'm doing a $50,000 transaction, that's still a lot of money for me.
We've done $15,000 transactions.
$15,000 transaction.
My first transaction, I sold a $4,000 property.
A $4,000 property. That's, to me, I'm like, if
Well,
somebody,
the leases that we use sometimes, we make $500.
yeah, some of the leases, they're very small transactions. But believe it or not, you're gonna get very similar objections. Today, I want you guys to write down what you're worth, because this is what's gonna be a make or break to your GCI, which is your gross commission earned. What are you worth as an individual? 90% of people in the industry will automatically fold to their compensation, and we've been there, Hiram. Take all the money you want, just don't cancel the deal on me. Trust me, I've been there too. I just went through a commission objection, and that's something that I'm getting every single time. You know why? Because people are protecting their pockets right now. But what's the difference between you and them? Either you're structured or you're not structured. So get into the habit of things. If you know you're worth a specific compensation amount, and you guys do this all the time. How many of you guys are showing property and you're like, oh, broker compensation is 1%? I'm already thinking in my mind, I probably don't even want to work with this individual. Because if he's shaving points off that, then he's not going to be able to control the customer. If he can't control the customer, then we're going to have an issue. So write this down. How much am I worth it? Am I worth? How much am I worth today? Because you guys need to get into the thought process of thinking very, very, very big. Sometimes the answer to your question is right there, right in front of you. All these people want to do is just give you objections to see if they fold. My favorite one is the one where people tell me, I've bought and sold like 8 houses. I'm always like, what? That many houses? Congratulations. Oh, you are considered a real estate investor. That's good. I need to learn from you. That's an automatic objection handler. I need to learn from you. Always, I need to learn from you. Why? You know why the customer is telling you that? The customer is telling you that because they're trying to tell you, David, I don't care how good of a salesperson you are. I know more than you know. And that's completely fine. Does the consumer know more than you do?
Probably not.
They don't. You know why they don't? Because they're not living, eating, breathing real estate. You're here looking at all these problems, and most of these problems are going to be very similar. You guys have on part of your script book objection handlers. Number 1 objection that I get is commission. Number 2, everybody knows somebody in the industry that can do it better than you. I had that thrown at me like 3 times yesterday. I got so frustrated, and this is why I said today in the mastermind, I'm going to talk about objection handling. You know, my response to the client was, then why are they not here doing this deal if you know somebody in the business? And at that point, she was like, what? And I was all like, yeah. And then I got in my car and I'm thinking to myself, that is not the way to handle an objection. I need to be a finely tuned professional. Hey, we all have somebody in the industry. We all have somebody that knows how to do real estate. But let me ask you a question. Are you looking to do them a favor, or are you trying to deal with a professional? Tell me the difference between that or like, hey, why are they not here then? See how unprofessional I sound? And I caught that yesterday because I'm thinking to myself, wow, Jesse, your objection handling is all ego filled. You just want to be the guy that's right. And the client could have said to me, oh yeah, they could be here right now. Let's cancel this real quick and let me get them right here. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just thinking to myself, like, these are the positions that I put myself constantly because I'm not training every single day. So this week, I want you guys to focus 10 minutes of your time. And I heard you guys, it's weird. I was thinking about the objection. You guys were already working on objections as I got in here this morning. Is that what you guys were doing? Yeah. Okay, so you guys were already working on objections. So focus on that. Focus on the commission. Focus on the customers, specifically for you guys that are buying, that are doing buyers. Adam had a client make him commit to giving them a $500 to $600 television.
You did too.
I did not. No, but then he want me. But anyway, Adam was like, "Yo, if we get this deal, then I'm gonna get you like a TV or something." Somehow they corralled them in there.
A closing gift for the house.
A closing gift that turned into a very expensive TV.
We gave away 19,000 last year on that one transaction.
We gave away 20 G's in the transaction.
And then you'd be part of that transaction.
So what I'm trying to get at is that you guys have a specific worth.
Right.
Does that make sense? But we don't pre-qualify the customer properly. We don't go through the objections hand properly. So we get to the part of the closing table, and when we get to the closing table, it's like, no, don't, whatever you want. You know why we do that? Because our pipeline is weak. You got 10 other deals on the table. It's like, no, I don't want to waste my time with you. I don't want to do that. This weekend, I went out to Beverly Hills, and in my Beverly Hills appointment, I was looking at the way that these people transact at a higher level. And the discussion on the table was a $40 million deal. And everybody had a very conscious understanding that there was a big commission that was going to get paid. You want to know why? Because that's the first thing that they brought up. They talked about that right there. Hey, this is how much I'm going to charge you. Hiram, if you're showing customers, you got to tell them, hey, I'm highly paid. Let me handle my job. Let me do my part of the process. Let me do the research for you. Let me do a lot of the due diligence. Do I want you to back me up? Yes, but I'm getting paid highly. If you go to any of my presentations, I constantly tell customers, I get paid extremely well. I want you to know that because we need to get over that right away. Because if you can't get over the fact that I'm going to make $20,000, $30,000 on your transaction, then there's going to be a very big issue. You're going to be beating me up about it. You're going to be fighting me about it. You're going to lose sleep, and I'm not going to care. Does that make any sense to you guys? So today I want you guys, before we do our commitments, it's already 9:02, I want you guys to also think about these things. Tomorrow, in the topic that we will be discussing, I'm going to get deep into your objection handling. And I'm going to teach you 3 of the best objections that you guys need to handle, which are driven by, hey, Jesse, I have somebody in the industry that can help me that's been there. I don't need your services anymore because everybody has one that doesn't have time. That's also a contractor. That's also an insurance guy. They do everything. Jack of all trades, master of none. But anyway, tomorrow, make sure that you guys are here and ready to learn. We're going to be reading. Let's do our affirmations.